Anyone paying close attention to reports about the current Lakers coaching search has probably noticed how the Lakers are being extremely patient and slow about it. For the Los Angeles Lakers, the number one priority this offseason will be figuring out who their next head coach should be and will be. The Lakers were quick to fire head coach Frank Vogel after he failed to lead a lackluster roster to the playoffs, and with the clock ticking on superstar LeBron James' future with the organization, they face even more pressure to get things right. Los Angeles is reportedly going to take their time in their search, but an optimal deadline would be before the 2022 NBA Draft. The Lakers are expected to interview anywhere between 8 to 10 coaching candidates. It was reported earlier that they would be casting a wide net and that many candidates support that notion. This is encouraging because the Lakers want to make sure they leave no stone unturned as they look for their next head coach to hopefully lead them back to an NBA championship. To ensure the pick is right and they find the right person for the job, LA is also pulling out all the stops and having their primary decision makers involved in the conversations with coaching candidates. Like Jeanie Buss and Rob Pelinka are the two most important personnel involved. But Kurt Rambis, Joey Buss, and Jesse Buss are also present. Let's not forget how former Lakers head coach Phil Jackson is also serving as part of the committee. So far, the Lakers have reportedly interviewed current ESPN analyst and former Golden State Warriors head coach Mark Jackson and Terry Stotts, who also coached the Portland Trail Blazers, and they will also eventually meet with Darvin Ham and Adrian Griffin. As of now, there does not seem to be a frontrunner for the position, but it will be interesting to see who gains momentum in the coming weeks. So far, Darvin Ham was one of the first names officially linked to the LA Lakers, and he would make a ton of sense given his previous ties to the franchise and his championship pedigree as a player and assistant coach. However, the longer Los Angeles waits to make a decision, the more likely Ham will go to the Charlotte Hornets. Meanwhile, current head coach Doc Rivers of the Sixers is still in the Eastern Conference Finals facing the Miami Heat, and they just got Joel Embiid back and even tied the series at 2 games apiece. Meanwhile, Quinn Snyder just had hip surgery and is still employed by the Utah Jazz, who have maintained they want to keep their coach despite his unwillingness to extend his current contract. So if the Lakers are indeed waiting those two out, it may still be a few weeks as their slow, methodical, and smart process that is definitely not just delaying on behalf of those two other continues. Meanwhile, the Lakers will keep continuing interviewing coaching candidates through Zoom until they find the right one. One thing for sure is the Lakers will try to make a splash higher in order to get the Lakers back to a championship.